Hey guys, what's up? My name is Prez or Justin, and welcome to this NHL 22 Wishlist slash Rumours series. Another video in this series. Today we're going to talk about my wish list when it comes down to a soundtrack for NHL 22. Let me put into perspective first before we actually get into the video and me talking about the 25 songs I think are a good pick for the NHL soundtrack. Obviously, some people may agree with this, some people may disagree with this, but the whole premise is to put out my wish list out there, and I want you guys to put your wish list out there as well in the comments below. So if you guys have a specific song or even number of songs you guys want to include in your wish list when it comes down to the soundtrack, and I'll be doing part 2 and part 3, how many parts we're actually going to do in this series or in this one. I don't know how many we're going to do, but to let you guys know, this is my wish list. This obviously could be different from yours. Some of the songs you may agree that are on here, you may not like them. But anyways, let's get into it. If you guys actually want to share your Spotify playlist, there'll be actually a Spotify link into the playlist that I have chosen. 25 songs, an hour and 38 minutes. Obviously, that's not a lot, but probably through time, I'll probably add some more songs to this and everything. So if you guys want to follow this playlist, or you guys want to add this playlist to your like I said, library for Spotify. I don't really use Spotify. I use Apple Music. So, but anyways, here's my NHL 22 soundtrack wish list. Part 2 and part 3 will include your guys' soundtracks. So if you guys want to put your soundtrack in the comments below, like I said, you guys can definitely do that. You guys can actually share a link to your Spotify playlist that you guys have set up for NHL 22 soundtrack or anything like that. But anyways, let's get right into it. So starting at number 1, we got TNT by AC/DC. Great song. All this stuff. Great song. I got some rock in here. I got some rock. I got mostly hip hop. I got mostly rap and hip hop because I grew up listening to that. So I'm gonna include more songs that I know, that I love, that I've been listening to throughout my childhood and through. I still listen to this day sometimes. But yeah. So if you guys, some songs on here you guys may agree with, you guys may disagree with, but like I said, most of the songs I grew up with is like 90s rap. So 90s rap, 90s hip hop, all that stuff. So, but anyways, let's get into it. Let's actually finish this off. Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses. Detroit Rock the City by Kiss. Killer Queen by Queen. We Didn't Start the Fire by Billy Joel. Fight for Your Right by the Beastie Boys. Giving All Your Lovin' by ZZ Top. Until I Collapse by Eminem and Nate Dogg. Great song to have when you're like working out, and nice, good song to get you pumped up when you're working out, or you're about to start working out, or if you're about to like go on the ice and play a game or something like that. It's actually a great song. We got Jump Around by the House of Pain. We got X Is Gonna Give It To You by DMX. We got Hip Hop Hooray by Naughty by Nature. We got Shake Your Thang by Salt and Pepper. Great song. It Was a Good Day by Ice Cube. Rough Riders Anthem by DMX. In the Club, 50 Cent. Mrs. Jackson by The Outkast. Or by Outkast. Straight to the Bank by 50 Cent. Temperature, Sean Paul. Get Busy, Sean Paul. It's Tricky, Run DMC. Gin and Juice, Snoop Dogg. Classic. Intergalactic by Beastie Boys. Sorry, I kind of messed that up. Get Low by Little John and the East Side Boys and the Yang Yang Twins. Man, if you listen to this song in the day if you ever played Need for Speed and you heard this song, oh, I loved it. I loved it in Need for Speed. I believe it was Underground 2 or Underground 1. I can't fully remember. But anyways, California Love by Tupac and Dr. Dre. Great song. I've been listening to that my entire life. Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond. Another great song that's really got into the hockey world and really got into the hockey world and all that stuff. But yeah, so that's my wish list. That's my wish list for the soundtrack. And if you guys want to include your soundtrack for the NHL 22 I'll let you guys post a link in the comments below. YouTube usually blocks this type of thing, but if YouTube does block your comment, I'll let your comment go through, all that stuff. And yeah, let me check out your playlist. Put them in the description, or put them in the comments. Sorry, you can't put them in the description. Put them in the comments. But there's one thing that I want to talk about with the NHL 22 or NHL games, regardless of the whatever version we're on. I just want to talk about the soundtrack. So the soundtrack is very important to a lot of people when it comes down to it. Every single year, people want this type of song or this type of genre really showing off in the game and everything like that. Or they want to go back to the previous years of like NHL 14 or NHL 09 or stuff like that. They want to go back to the old soundtracks. You also got to think that the generations that are going to play this game are not going to listen to that type of music. You gotta understand that. Like, there's some people that love that type of music, and there's a lot of people that don't like that music. And a lot of people don't like rap. A lot of people don't like rock. A lot of people don't like certain genres of music. And it's hard to really get a perspective on people, what they want, and have a general, like, acceptance of the soundtrack. No one's ever going to agree with each other when it comes down to a soundtrack for any game. And unless it's like an original soundtrack that's actually just for the game and the game only, like you only can get that soundtrack if you play the game, or if you actually bought the soundtrack from the developers, or you get a free download if you bought like the deluxe version of it or the legendary version of the game, whatever it is. Another thing I want to talk about regarding the soundtrack and my opinion on it. For me, I turn off the soundtrack. I turn off the sound or the soundtrack entirely. I turn off the music entirely just because I record. I record videos for NHL. Obviously, I can't have that music in the background. If I do, then I get copyright striked. It doesn't matter how I put it. All my old videos, most of my NHL 15 videos actually got copyrighted and all that stuff, and I had to go through disputes and all this stuff, try to get it approved and for monetizing and everything like that for you guys just to see it. But I went through all that mess, and I just turn off the music now. Every time I launch the game, even before I start recording, I launch the game, turn off the music, and then I start recording. Like, that's how I do it. And I've been doing it for ever since NHL 16, I believe, or NHL 15, I believe. I've been doing it ever since. So I don't listen to the soundtrack personally when it comes down to it. But I know a lot of people don't record or don't do videos for YouTube, and they listen to the soundtrack all the time. I understand that. Every single time that I listen to a game soundtrack and it's repetitive, it's annoying. It's the most annoying thing in the world. Like, when I used to play NHL, before I did YouTube and everything like that, the soundtracks were awful, in my opinion. Awful. That's just my opinion. I always shut off the music because I never liked the music. Even my friends that play the game now, they don't even do YouTube at all. They turn off the music because it's just awful. Like, nobody wants to listen to that. And this is where I'm coming from. This is where I want the EA to really listen to this idea and really get this idea and possibly put it into their game. Have the option where we can actually import our playlists or our music from like Spotify or any of the music apps that are on Xbox or PlayStation. I don't know. Guaranteed Spotify is on both. But let's just say Spotify. Let us import our playlists from our Spotify accounts and then put them into the game. So we have a custom soundtrack for everybody. Everybody will have their own custom soundtrack to the game. Make it like that. Like, maybe you can log into your Spotify account and you select a playlist that you created or your friend made, and you can import it into the game and then the game's music gets replaced by that. So let's say like you guys like my soundtrack that I have for NHL 22. You guys can import that into the game, and you can actually hear that over the game's music. And also coming from that, there's a lot of problems coming from that also, because the copyright. EA has to pay for each song. EA has to pay a copyright fee, or has to pay for a royalty. Has to pay for a royalty for each song that they put in the game. That's kind of the problem with a lot of these, because a lot of these artists or a lot of these companies don't want their music in a sports game. A lot of them don't. Now, maybe like the smaller bands or smaller musicians would like to have their music featured into any game, because that makes it up to a wider audience. But it really comes down to copyright royalties. Is EA willing to pay like $1,000 or $2,000 a song to have it featured in their game? Does EA have the budget for that? They probably don't. They probably don't. They do. EA definitely has the budget to do all this. But does EA Sports NHL Division have the money to do it? Probably not. They're too busy of copying and pasting the exact same stuff from the previous game into the next one. But anyways, you guys can tell me what you guys think about my playlist, about my soundtrack, or about my wish list when it comes down to it, in the comments below. But also include yours. Include your Spotify, if you guys use Spotify. If you guys don't use Spotify, you can actually sign up. It's completely free to sign up and create your own playlist and everything like that. You could put it in the comments below, and I would love to see your guys' soundtrack. And guess what? And in part 2 and part 3, I'll include some of your guys' soundtracks in the next video. So if I get enough to make a couple of videos, I'll definitely do it. I'll definitely include your guys' soundtrack and everything like that. I'll put it in the description. I'll put your name above it so you guys can get some recognition and all that stuff. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, make sure you guys smash the like button. Make sure you guys subscribe if you guys haven't already. My name is Justin, or Prez. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Discord. Links to me in the description down below. And also, once again, if you guys want to see my soundtrack for NHL 22, it'll be in the description down below or in the comments. It will be pinned in the comments below too. But anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
Greatest, yeah. Man, I just wanna be famous, yeah, I just wanna be the greatest, yeah. Man, I just wanna be famous, yeah. And I'm not playing any more games, either put